the top, I just want to, and I hope this is, I mean, this will bring down the mood a little bit, but whatever. We live in the real world. There were some awful events that happened this week. And we just want to say that we don't stand for any hatred. We don't stand for any of that stuff, like racism, prejudice. Like, we don't condone any of that, including the things that come with a fandom, like some of the people that like, that were pushing for the Snyder Cut. So we don't put up with any of that stuff. We don't condone any of that. And I'll put a link below to some resources where you can actually help with everything that happened this week and support the Asian American community and everyone affected by that. So that was I just wanted to put that out there because I want the show to also reflect like the events that are happening in the real world because we don't live in a bubble.
Yeah.
And I know that media like this kind of helps us get through a lot of that stuff, but it's important. It's important that we talk about that. So check the links below for places where you can help. Anything you can do helps. Talk to your friends, talk to your people.
Hey now.
Hey everybody, good morning. Happy first Sunday after Zack Snyder's Justice League.
This is how we will now record time.
That's right.
Happy St.
Patty's
Day.
There's BZSJL and Anno Domini JS.
Actually, isn't it like the first day of spring?
It is.
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
So happy spring, everybody.
We survived the snowpocalypse, and now we're in spring.
Yes.
Warm days from here on in.
It's Texas, man. Anything's possible.
Yeah, it felt like spring a week after the snow.
It felt like spring after the snow.
Yeah. I used my new furnace for a whole day. So that was a good investment. All right. So as you may be able to tell from everything, today we're just going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. We're not going to do any of our other segments. We're just going to go into the movie because I think.
But I read comic books. I want to talk about them.
Well, want to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. The first question I have for everyone, and we can start, baby steps because there's a lot to talk about here.
Is there really baby steps in this kind of discussion?
Yeah. Did you guys like the movie?
It's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you guys like the movie?
I did. I really liked it.
I did.
I really enjoyed it.
It was fun for what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. As you may be able to tell or not, and this may be a giveaway. I've watched the movie 3 times since it's released on Thursday. So that's about 50 hours ago.
Daniel hates it.
Yeah.
Daniel's a sadomasochist.
Not only do I hate the movie, I also hate myself. So it really worked out nicely. Yeah. So I've spent about 12 of the last 55 hours
writing notes
watching the movie. So that'll tell you something. I did rewatch Man of Steel and BVS this week.
Oh Lord, you did.
That was not required at all.
Why would you want to?
Mea culpa, because I said last week I would, and I didn't.
The only thing I didn't do, and I couldn't get myself to do it because I thought I was just gonna get angry, was to rewatch the 2017 version, so I could fully like. Compare and contrast the movie to what we just got.
I think the differences are glaring. I not rewatched. I watched Justice League. No, I guess rewatched it maybe a year or two ago, and I did not need to revisit it to know that this is a completely different film and a much more logical film.
Yes.
And one of the disheartening takeaways I had from this, not again to get real here for a moment, but I left the film feeling like it does in many ways redeem Snyder and what he intended with these films.
Really?
It does.
I completely agree with Josh.
Except, I will say, it does not redeem Batman v Superman. I still think that is a piece of crap that was clearly intended only to like that film was rushing to get to this film. Yeah. But having said that, the other takeaway I had from this is just, again, I hate to bring the mood down, is not only does it redeem Snyder, it really, really brings down Whedon. And in a moment when he's already, very understandably, like under the gun, right? Because so many accusations have come out against him. This is just another, like a kick in the pants to him right now.
This is where I don't want to give Whedon any credit, but after rewatching, especially more than once, the current vision of what Zack Snyder was trying to bring, I am more of a fan of Whedon's vision for Justice League than I have ever been.
Wow. I just did not like that at all.
No. And watching Zack Snyder's movie, I like some of the stuff he added to the film, but I hate his vision for making everything dark and gritty. Whedon at least did one thing. He tried to bring the superheroes more to what they actually should be in the vision of the embodiment of especially Superman. I hate the fact that we got Superman in the black costume. I hate that he sits there and does what he does. At least with Whedon's vision, at least they tried to embody the persona of what Superman's supposed to be, and the blue and red costume of being the Christopher Reeve's persona of what the embodiment of that superhero is supposed to be. And this vision, he goes right back to being the dark and gritty emo superhero that we got in Book of Man of Steel, and I do not like that.
So I agree with you on that, right? And if there's one thing I really, really hate about Snyder's version of this film, is how Superman and most importantly Lois are treated. Lois's entire narrative role is to mourn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when we get to the epilogue and talk about that, I have some very stern words.
Most wasted part of footage I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think he ever knows what to do with her.
I think it's still better. I was going to say, I think Lois's arc is still better served in this version than just being reduced to like a thirst joke in the previous Justice League version.
Yeah, she just appears in the bathtub.
Oh, sorry.
She just has in the previous, this is one of the things I wrote down because we could talk about Lois Lane as a character too, because I think her arc is definitely the smallest between everyone really. Like she's always been since Men of Steel, she's been like a capable. First of all, I can't believe we got Amy Adams to play Lois Lane.
Yeah,
holy shit!
I know what a waste of an actor. I mean,
I'll give you that.
And I think she had definitely bigger roles before in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah, but there's so many people in this version, but I do like that you're right, she does mourn like throughout the movie. That's her arc, like dealing with the grief. But I do like that before they bring Superman, and full spoilers for Justice League. I guess this should have been. I'll put it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're ruining everything.
Cut off now. Go watch. Come back.
Yeah, we're spoiling everything. DC.
3 hours and 30 minutes in, you gotta pause.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think before they bring Superman back, Lois gets to a place where she can deal with her grief and move on after she has a conversation with Martha Manhunter, which is.
Martha Manhunter.
I love that.
Martha Manhunter.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think
my new favorite DC character.
I love the whole like she goes to get coffee, she goes to the monument, she brings coffee for that cop that's there all the time. But then she shows up and she's like, this is the last day I'm gonna do this, right? Like she pretty much tells him, which means she's ready to move on, ready to get back to work. Now obviously, bringing Superman back kind of undoes a lot of that for her.
Exactly, and then immediately what happens, right? So let's So I agree with you in the sense that one thing I felt like this overly long 4-hour version did is all of the narrative bits in the theatrical release that made no sense make sense now, right?
Yeah,
why is Lois at the monument?
It didn't need to be.
Well, no.
This could have been a 3-hour film. I'm sorry. This could have been.
I agree, but there are 2 hours that are just in slow motion.
Yeah, exactly. That was my comment in my notes. Was if Zack Snyder didn't rely on slow mo all the frickin' time, this movie would have been 2 hours long.
Okay,
but
at least agreement there.
Yeah. But let's break down exactly what he presents Lois as here, right? And the most egregious moment of it. Lois is, even from back in Man of Steel, we never really see her as Lois Lane. Yeah, she figures out who Superman is, but that's like the one moment, right? She has always been, in this entire run, Superman's girlfriend. Yeah. And in this movie, she is mourning his death, not moving on. The minute that she realizes she's, after talking with Martha Manhunter, that she should move on, and she picks up her Daily Planet badge. What's underneath it? A pregnancy kit. So her role here is to become a mother, right? Or maybe an attempted mother. Okay. And so what upset me so much about the way Snyder approached her in this film is you get the one moment when Manhunter leaves, transforms into Manhunter, and says the world needs Lois. That's a great line, but nothing in the series up to that point sets up that line. Nothing. Until the very end that we've already seen. Really angered me.
When she's writing the headline. Until the very end that we've already seen the Whedon's cut, when she's writing the newspaper article about the world needs heroes. That's the only thing we ever get with her.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she had as much character development as Iris did.
Who's Iris?
Well, and I mean,
isn't that a song from the 80s?
That's definitely fair, because if this had happened in the original order, Iris would be like an Easter egg to set up the Flash movie that was going to happen afterwards. So I understand why she didn't get a full arc. It was just introducing the character, which I believe the actress is reprising the role.
No,
in the Flash movie.
She is. Yeah, it's Billy Crudup is not going to be back as
right. Yeah, Billy Crudup's not going to be the dad anymore. But I think that's cool. I mean, at least now audiences get to see Iris right before, like, they'll be like, "Oh, she's the one that the Flash saved earlier on that other movie."
But again, we didn't need that's the thing. We didn't need that scene in the movie.
Yeah, it didn't move the story or do anything for the character.
It did make me slight counterpoint. It did make me excited about a Flash film. And actually, the more of Ezra Miller in this that we got, the more I was like, oh, I want to see him play Flash now, right?
Yeah.
In particular, the end scene when we get to see him using the Speed Force, I was like, oh, this makes much more sense now, right? So there's that. I will also say I think that scene's important because it sets up a lot of the way that his powers work, and his personality. I will say the one really brilliant thing I think Snyder did in this with Flash in particular is we don't get how he got his powers story. And it's very clear it can't be the traditional way. He's not in the crime lab. How is he going to get his powers, right? So they're setting up a big unknown there for the film, hopefully, to tell. And I thought that was really great.
But he's got that huge, he's got the huge loft with all the computers and everything, so it's probably there.
Right. And let me take you guys on a quick walk, because I will say the 2017 version was not complete trash fire.
Thank you.
There was a line that Batman told the Flash, like,
one?
Yeah, save one person at a time, which I thought that was a great line for that character at that moment, because that Flash doesn't seem like he has any experience really doing any kind of saving.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you bring in the scene of Barry saving Iris from the car, then you can actually tell that this Flash has some experience dealing with stuff and knows how to use his powers to, like, benefit other people. So instead, we get that really cool scene of him saving the scientists from the falling debris, which wouldn't be possible. Like, if in the other version we just got that scene of him, like, using his powers, zooming around to destroy all the rocks before the scientists get crushed, it wouldn't really make sense, because we've never seen him. We don't know that he's adept to use his powers like that. But because we got that extra scene with Iris, we know that he can control his powers, and then all the stuff he talks to with Bruce Wayne and all that. So I think both versions did. I like the Flash way better in the new version because he's actually more of a character. He's less of a goofball, which he's still a bit of a goofball, but he's like the whole scene where he writes on that guy's face in jail in the 2017 version. Okay, but like I like the conversation he has with his dad.
Well, and I totally agree with you, and I think that overall, except for Lois, except for Superman, I think the film redeems all of the new characters it introduced.
Yes.
Right. And I will say the thing I really liked about what you just said about when they're saving the scientists, right? Mm-hmm. At first I was really bothered by that scene because I'm like, why isn't Flash just like my brain remembered, just like grabbing them and zooming them out? Well, what happens in that scene? It is Cyborg carrying his dad out, and Flash keeps stopping because he's unsure what to do. Right? He goes into it, the only one saying this isn't working like a team. Everyone goes their own way, and he's the only one to say, "Hey, we're not supposed to do that." And so he's trying to help Cyborg, and Cyborg's like, "I got it." Right? Mm-hmm. What that sets up is the very end, where it's the two of them that are key to this whole thing working. Right? That was, I thought that was just a nice little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah. So. And you can tell where they were planning a movie with both Cyborg and Flash as the team.
So here's my question, right? Until I was reading stuff after I watched it, I felt like this was Cyborg's movie. Like I knew there was a Flash movie in the works. I didn't know there was a Cyborg movie.
There had been.
And there had been. After this, I feel like I don't need it. Like Cyborg is the keystone to this whole movie.
Yeah.
And man, for me to go into it, like the minute he appeared on screen, again, my wife was in the background and we had watched season 1 of Doom Patrol. We were comparing the portrayal of Cyborg in Doom Patrol versus here. And I was just going on about how great the Doom Patrol actor is and how much I didn't really like Ray Fisher because in the theatrical cut, he's just Moody McGee the entire time. And here you get it. By the end, I'm like, oh man, this is fantastic. Like he is Cyborg. Like I started here and then I ended way up here, like that's an incredible feat to pull off.
I did put up a poll on our Twitter that should end as of recording. I think it'll end tomorrow. And I asked, who is the most improved character from the 2017 version to this version of the show or the film? And my choices were Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Steppenwolf. Cyborg is in a healthy lead at 75% as of time of recording. So
why wasn't Superman a choice?
Because I can only put 4.
So I feel like he was a major. If you watch those movies, he's 2 different things in those.
I did say you could add more choices below.
I think Daniel's actually agreeing with us. Holchin's the better Superman.
No, I am not agreeing with that. I disagree vehemently. I think so. Let's go. Well, you guys want to talk about? We can talk about Superman next because.
I think all the CGI was good on him. I didn't see any mustache flaws. I didn't see.
Well, there wouldn't be any, right? Because there's no reshoots on this.
Okay, then that's
which makes it like if you're gonna reshoot him and you can't shave him, why don't you put the beard on him? Like we know from the comics, he grows the beard and the mullet. You don't need the mullet, although it'd be cool. But you could have done the beard instead of the weird CGI. I mean, Captain America, he pulled off the beard.
Yeah. But mullet.
That's true.
Mullet. The mullet would have been awesome.
Mullet.
# mullet Superman.
Would it?
Release the mullet cut.
There's our title.
So many versions of this film.
Okay. What character do we want to
I am
One thing before we get into the next character, which can be Superman if you guys want.
Okay.
So one cool really thing I noticed as I was rewatching everything, all these movies end and begin at the same time. So Batman v Superman, the first stuff happens at the end of Man of Steel, right? But we see it from Bruce Wayne's point of view, where he's running into Metropolis for the big fight. This movie, and then that movie, Justice League. I mean, Batman v Superman ends with the death of Superman. This movie begins with the death of Superman from a different angle, with his voice, his yell radiating out to everywhere, alerting the mother boxes that he's dead, and kind of kicking everything off. So if you think about it, this Superman has been Superman for at most, I don't know,
2 years,
18 months. Yeah. 2 years, 18 months to 2 years at most. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as we talk about Superman, because I don't think Superman became the all-American Boy Scout we love from the comics. And I do love that version. I love Hakelin's version, who's been Superman for over 15 years. And how you can, when you compare the two, I want you guys to keep that in mind. Cavill's been Superman for 2 years. And I think that's always the way I've seen it. And I don't expect Superman to be the Superman we have in the comics.
But even in that 2 years, any incorporation of Superman we've seen in the film or TV didn't take him 2 years to become the Superman that we wanted to love. So I'm sorry, the portrayal of what Superman we had Cavill is not Superman to me.
Yeah,
and Zach, this is where I'm going to defend. Okay, I'm not going to defend Whedon, but I'm going to defend the movie that he at least created because at least
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, let me phrase that. But no, Whedon is a piece of. Okay, I'm going to say this right so people can hear. Whedon is a piece of trash, but the vision of the film he created at least was taking the characters, especially Superman, to what they should, what their persona should embody. In the 2017, we got him in a blue and red suit that was even brighter than normal. He was trying to embody almost more of what Superman should be, like a truth, justice, the American way. I love the people. I'm here to save people. Mm-hmm. And and that's what we got in that movie. And I love that about it. But in this movie, he comes back from the dead. He's wearing a black suit. He's still like, well, I'm just going to use whatever force I can. And in that last battle, when he's taking out Steppenwolf, he uses his heat vision and it burns off one of his freaking horns. I'm like, that's not Superman. I hated it. I hate the vision of Zack Snyder. I never liked Zack Snyder as a filmmaker, and I hate the vision of him trying to make the DCEU into such a dark version. They were trying to go a direction where that's what I loved, and they turned that away. And I was like, well, sorry, I'm out.
I don't think even if we had 10 years of DCEU with Zack Snyder, I don't think Superman ever would have got to that. I don't think that was the end point for him ever.
We had one film with Donner with Christopher Reeves being Superman for maybe a couple of days or a month, and he's already the persona of what he needs to be, and it's all the characters. I'm going to jump real quick. When they redid the Wonder Woman scene, when she's taking out the guys in Paris, she's throwing them and killing them, and you actually see splatter on the walls of them being dead. It's like, why do they have to kill? Why do they have to let them not kill anybody? The fact that he had to make this dark and all the heroes have to kill really turned it off for me.
I will say though, she Wonder Woman's an Amazonian warrior. I like the portrayal that she's tougher than what people think and would kill because she's saving lives.
With that, I'm okay. But at least in the Whedon cut, we didn't get her. Like, we didn't see her. Like, all we knew is she was knocking the guys out. We didn't show her. She's literally just, oh well, you're bad. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't need to see that freaking effects of her killing people. I'm sorry.
I like that she blew up that terrorist and just saw his hat. Like, she destroyed that dude.
This is where I hate Zack Snyder. I don't like it. He does not need to be directing comic book films.
I in Birds of Prey, I love Black Mass death, and that's pretty fucking violent.
But that is Harley Quinn. She's a villain. I'm okay with the villains doing it, but not the heroes.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it was Kaz that did it. She was not the cast that was proven.
This is just my opinion.
No, I know what you're saying.
It turns me off because I was hoping that maybe the DCU would go a direction where they were going to go more. Like, I get it. Like, in the Marvel films, we have the heroes killing, but again, in the Marvel films, they're portrayed more as soldiers. They're portrayed more as like part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or they're soldiers, so they have to take out. And these are just guys who are superheroes, and they're like, well, let's just kill it. If they're a bad guy, we're just going to kill them. Nobody's going to care. It's like, they are going to care. There are ramifications for your actions, but we don't get any of that in this film.
Yeah, we see the DC characters as more of gods than soldiers.
And see, that's where I'm not on par. That's where I've never liked any of Zack Snyder's vision of where he was trying to go with the DCU. Zack Snyder was trying to make everything so dark. I've never been a fan of any of his films, 300, anything. And that's where it's just, I was hoping maybe he might play. I knew we were going to see like certain differences, but just he went right back to where the direction where I was hoping they wouldn't go, and I'm just not a fan of that.
Yeah. I mean, and this is kind of the end of the line for it anyway. So I think
I know,
yeah.
So I mean, also to the 300 thing, I think that was Frank Miller's fault.
End of the line.
So,
wait a minute. Hold up. End of the line.
No. But but since then we've had Aquaman, we've had Shazam, and even those have been a lot more lighthearted films.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, right? And I haven't read much of Snyder's biography to know this for a fact. I'm basing this on his prior films and hints and things, right? He is clearly a product of the late 80s, moody, mature turn in comics, right? Look at what he's done. He did Watchmen, which is key to that. In this film, Batman's first appearance in costume is a Dark Knight homage. Yeah. These are the comics that he loves. And so it makes sense that when he's handed the entire stable of DC superheroes, he's not going to go a Whedon route. He's going to go a Frank Miller, late 80s, dark, moody, turn where heroes are not the lighthearted Silver Age,
Superman's not the character.
They are. Well, but I guarantee he would disagree with that.
Oh, I know.
And I think, I think the epilogue is key to that. I think the epilogue, as much as I hate it, totally shows his entire intention with Superman. So.
That's why I'm gonna stay quiet with the epilogue because I've got so much. Oh my god.
I'll wait till we get there.
Yeah. We'll wait a minute. I want to bring up. There was a link. Put the link in notes that Josh posted. This isn't the end of the Snyderverse. He said he claims to have more cuts, more material.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just saw a news article. Apparently, he's going to be releasing the black and white version here soon.
That's why.
That's,
Justice is gray, baby.
Oh my God.
Can I just present my theory real quick that I've been sitting on? Okay, so we all know that Snyder loves desaturated filmmaking, right? Every film he's made, I think, really except Watchmen, which does a pretty good job of being kind of colorful when it needs to be. And this is it says something that when you go into HBOMax to watch this movie, the image is in black and white, right? Like this is so desaturated. So of course, at first in my brain, I'm like, haha, this is awful. But I started thinking about it. I don't know anything about VFX technology, but just as an artist, I wondered if it being so desaturated and by extension ramping up the contrast in the film between lights and darks made the special effects needed to get this film done easier. Because if you notice, when are the only bright colors? It's when you have Green Lantern shooting his Green Lantern like shooting his ring, when you have laser blast shooting off, even down to what I thought was the most stunning special effect, which was Steppenwolf's revised costume, where it constantly like moving. That the darkened lights there and even the highlights on it, in my brain, I'm thinking would be easier to do if you have higher contrasts, right? Because brighter colors, brighter light means you have more nuanced values and shadows, and that's got to be harder to do in VFX, or at least more time consuming. So that was a theory that I had.
Well, I do like your theory, and I think because we're gonna put this out in little pieces, it's a good place for us to do a little pause. But I'll do this, and we can take a little break in a second. I want to tell you guys, I looked it up. Zack Snyder was born in 1966, so he's a Gen Xer, like two of you guys.
I'm right at the tail end.
Thank you for thanks to Gen X for this amazing. Just you guys are really saving us. I don't expect you guys to save us from all the other things being canceled. Fuck us. We made our bed. We gotta lie in it. I was thinking when I saw the article of like, when will Gen X step in to stop all these things from being canceled? The only thing I could think of was that panel from Watchmen when it's Rorschach at the top of the building, like,
and you will like, say no.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the Gen Xers at the top, Rorschach. But okay, listen.